Hello friends, in this video we are going to see what is Swagger or OpenAPI, how to represent using JSON or YAML, and most importantly how to guide for various operational aspects of Swagger, and what exactly is Swagger specification, OAS. OAS stands for OpenAPI Specification. How to read AOS, how to render it, how to execute, and how to understand the request schema, how to understand the response schema, and how the authentication mechanism works. What are endpoints, what is parameter, what is request response, and what are error codes. How to read from a Swagger document. And what all tools are available for editing a OpenAPI or Swagger document, how to render using UI or GUI using browser-based interface, how you can use IDE, and finally we'll execute a create function using post, fetch using get, and how to inspect error codes and how to inspect a success code. And don't forget to like and subscribe at the end of the video. So coming to the Swagger document looks like this, and the JSON equivalent of that document, if you click here, it looks like this. It's a bit jumbled up, but if you put it into a context in a tool, it nicely renders here. You can see YAML or JSON equivalent. Let's jump into action. What exactly is this OpenAPI specification? It's called OS, and what are their versions? How the Swagger evolved into OpenAPI. If you go to this swagger.io website, you can inspect here various OpenAPI or Swagger documents. For example, let's load a OpenAPI 2.0 version schema. See here, instead of OpenAPI, it's written Swagger 2.0. So pretty much they are the same. And if you navigate to the paths, so pet is a URL path, and the method is post here, and it has different way of representing. Here you see post, it is not saying here any request bit, but it is directly giving you the pet schema here. If you click on the pet schema, it will take you to the pets object here. Okay, so that's there, but it is the representation is little bit different here in the older way. Now if you go to latest 3.0, for example, pretty much the same here. You see, you have the path, you have the method here, but here it says extra bit is request body here, you see, which was not there earlier. But rest it little bit more structured. It says here schema, where you can easily figure out that okay, the request has schema this, and the response is complete different section. It has schema of all this, and the navigation is same. If you click here, again it will navigate to that particular object. Okay, we'll get into all this one by one in this video itself. I'm just taking you through a very high level concepts. Then we'll go through how to read, render, execute, understand the request and response. So how to read it. Reading it, very simple. You can read using a JSON document or a YAML document. See here, it says save as YAML, but it's a paid version here. Okay, it's not showing that, but there are ways to get a JSON document out of it. I'll show you that. Or JSON to YAML or YAML to JSON. That's pretty easy. So here is the tool. I have covered the earlier videos, but I'll show you once again how to. So let's focus on how to read, render, and execute. Okay. So what we are doing is reading the document. So reading means if you have a path which is called URL path, basically nothing but it's a REST endpoint API. Okay. And it has various methods: put, post, and get. So this particular section is put. If you squeeze it, you'll get post. Squeeze it, you'll get get here. Okay. And every section has their corresponding URL. For putting or for posting, which is creating a API, you need the schema. Okay, let's go to another 2.0, which is the older Swagger way, which everybody is acquainted with. So post method expects you to pass a pet object, whereas the get method here allows you to query the document and it responds. If it is response with 200, then it's a successful response and it gives you a pet object back. So this document is useful when you are dealing with APIs, but you won't be going through very often unless you execute API and get to know. So let's do that. This is pretty much the same. I have just opened in different windows. Okay, we can open it here. We can execute here and see on the side by side. Okay. So first thing is let's get a pet. So here is the pet. So this comes to the execution part. We have seen how to read it. Rendering is nothing but the same document renders here. And it looks like this. Let me open it in a full window. So same JSON or YAML document, it renders and gives a nice UI version of that. See here, what you see put there is nicely color coded and the API is here. Get is find by status, find by ID. So pretty much the same, only the rendering bit you are seeing a pretty nice browser UI view. Now coming to execution part. So let's execute one API and see. The most useful and important API is get. And when you expand this get, so it gives a try out option. Until you click that, you will not get the execution option. So click that first. Click. Then if you simply execute, it will not work. Okay. Because it's giving the error here. Because you want to fetch a pet, about a pet. It has got ID. So it is expecting a ID here. Let's say I give 1, 2, 3. Assuming that 1, 2, 3 ID, the pet with 1, 2, 3 ID exists. Or it will give error. And the response, you can choose. You want a JSON format or YAML format. So I want in a JSON format. It's easy to read. Okay. See, this is not the actual response till now because I have not pressed the execution button here. Okay. You have to press this. Execute. Now it is executed. So what all things happened during the execution? It's very important to know. So this ID was passed to the API server and that ID was replaced here, and it might had a host name which is something.com or something.co.uk, then /pet/id or localhost colon 8080, and then this path was amended and a REST request was fired when we pressed execution and the response was given here. See, now it got a right response. So there is a pet existing with the ID 1, 2, 3 and you got the response here. The response is 200. 200 means okay, successful response. Okay. And you see the full URL also it worked out and pasted, which is petstore.swagger.io/v2, which was not mentioned here, which is hiding here, but it is present in the document, JSON document basically. And another nice thing you see, it gave a curl command as well to execute, which you can copy and go to a command line and paste here and hit. See, you got that response as well. So the pet name is catch and so on and so forth. Okay, so it's a very nice way of getting different ways of executing that same API. So the curl command is useful for CLI purpose. If you don't have any other tool or you want to do a very minor automation kind of stuff, you can use this curl command. Okay, so you got that response back. If you copy this and paste it to a pretty view, it will give you nice response here. Okay, see, it's a nice response here. And the JSON also, you can of course you can make a pretty JSON here, something. Let's create a new document here, file, something like pet response.json, and paste here and do a format. Okay, I pasted that from CLI, so that's why it's giving error. So this is also a nice document, nicely pretty formatted. So that's all these things what we manually did. This document gives out of the box here. See, it's already structured here. Okay, so that's not something we are focusing on now. Understanding request and response. We saw the request and response, but how it is relevant to Swagger now? That's the question, right? So let's inspect the Swagger document for this pet. It's a get call by ID. So this is not the one. Squeeze this. This is not the one as well. Yeah, this is the one. Pet ID. Pet ID. So the URL is correct, /pet ID, and it's matching here with /pet ID. And when it gives a 200 back, it can give 200 or 400, which is a bad request, or 404 if the pet doesn't exist or it is not found. Okay, so but our case it gave 200 back. So let's see the response what we received from Swagger is matching the specification that's here. So control click or command click here, it goes to that object pet, so it has to match. So it says ID 123 is an integer. Yes, that's an integer. Then category is a complex type. Category is a complex type. Yes, it's a category which has got ID and name. If you click, we'll see there. We'll go there in a bit. Now name is a string. It's a string. Tag is what is the tag here? Tag is an array. Okay. And array of tags. So we'll go there in a bit. Then status is available. So that's a string. It's a string. Okay. So let's see the category here. So category is a complex type which has got further ID and name. That's what, ID and name. Okay. So that's pretty much the thing which we got a response here. You click here, it goes to the pet. Then tag is an array. If you go to the tag, it has got ID and name as well, which is ID and name. It's matching ID and name. Okay. So that's how we inspect the response. We didn't inspect the request. So let's go back to the request again. Get, and request is nothing but it's sending ID here. So the ID is an integer, right? Parameter is the pet ID here. You see, pet ID is matching the pet ID, and the type, it's in the path, which is in the path, and the type is integer and int 64. So type is integer here. Okay, so that's pretty much we covered. Now authentication. Authentication something is very important. When you are dealing with protected servers or your virtual private servers, so they provide you various type of authentication: auth 2, basic auth,